Right now, tensions between the United States and Venezuela are reaching levels not seen in decades. Venezuelan jets attempting to intercept a B-2 Spirit bomber would trigger one of the most lopsided aerial encounters in modern military history. Before we dive into what would actually happen in this scenario, hit that subscribe button and drop a comment telling us which stealth aircraft you think is the most deadly. The situation in the Caribbean has become explosive in 2025. The US has deployed over 10% of its entire naval fleet to waters near Venezuela, including destroyers, amphibious assault ships, and attack submarines. More than 4,000 Marines and sailors are now stationed in the region, conducting what Washington calls counter-drug operations. But this massive buildup tells a different story. President Trump has authorized CIA covert operations inside Venezuela and openly discussed strikes on Venezuelan territory. Meanwhile, B-52 bombers have flown within 48 miles of Venezuelan coastal islands in what military analysts describe as unmistakable shows of force. Nicolas Maduro has responded by mobilizing millions of militia members and conducting military drills across 20 of Venezuela's 23 states. The Venezuelan military claims to have over 8 million reservists ready to defend their nation. While experts question both the accuracy of that number and the quality of their training, the rhetoric from Caracas has become increasingly aggressive. Venezuelan officials at the United Nations have warned of an imminent armed attack, accusing the US of seeking regime change to seize control of Venezuela's vast oil and natural gas reserves. This geopolitical powder keg sets the stage for our hypothetical scenario. Venezuelan Su-30 fighter jets scrambling to intercept what they detect as an unknown aircraft entering their airspace. Their radar systems struggle to maintain a lock on the contact. The target appears, disappears, and reappears as a ghost flickering across their screens. What they're attempting to track is a B-2 Spirit stealth bomber. This aircraft represents one of the most sophisticated pieces of military technology ever built. Only 20 of these bombers remain in active service, each costing over $2 billion when factoring in research and development. The flying wing design eliminates traditional fuselage and tail structures, creating an aircraft that looks like something from science fiction. The B-2's radar cross-section measures approximately 0.1 square meters. To put that in perspective, this massive bomber with a 172-foot wingspan appears on radar screens as an object roughly the size of a large bird. The aircraft's shape uses complex curved surfaces designed to deflect radar waves away from their source rather than bouncing them. Special radar-absorbing materials coat the entire surface of the B-2. These composite materials and coatings don't just reduce radar signature, they also minimize infrared emissions by cooling the engine exhaust through careful mixing with ambient air. The bomber's 4 engines produce 35,000 pounds of thrust each, yet they're buried deep within the wing structure to hide their heat signature. The B-2 can carry 40,000 pounds of weapons entirely within 2 internal weapons bays. This internal storage is crucial for maintaining stealth. Opening the bomb bay doors briefly compromises the aircraft's low observable characteristics, but pilots can stealth up the bomber using classified maneuvers before entering hostile airspace. The bomber can deliver everything from 8,500-pound precision-guided bombs to 16 B-83 nuclear weapons. Its range capabilities are staggering. Without refueling, the B-2 can fly 6,000 nautical miles. With a single aerial refueling, that range extends beyond 10,000 nautical miles. This gives the bomber the ability to strike virtually any target on Earth within hours of taking off from its home base at Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri. The aircraft routinely conducts missions lasting over 40 hours. In June 2025, B-2 bombers conducted their largest combat mission since the Afghanistan War, striking Iranian nuclear facilities in an operation called Midnight Hammer. 7 B-2s dropped GBU-57, bunker buster bombs on deeply buried targets in an 18 hours mission that demonstrated the bomber's ability to penetrate the most sophisticated air defenses and destroy hardened underground facilities. Venezuelan air defense systems would face an almost impossible challenge detecting a B-2 at normal combat ranges. The country operates Russian-made S-300 anti-aircraft missile systems, but these are designed for targets with conventional radar signatures. Lower frequency radars, like S-band and L-band systems, can sometimes detect stealth aircraft, but tracking and targeting them remains extremely difficult. Now here's where the scenario becomes truly one-sided. As Venezuelan pilots finally get close enough to visually identify the B-2, 4 F-22 Raptors seemingly materialize out of nowhere. These fighters had been flying escort the entire time, completely invisible to Venezuelan radar. The F-22 Raptor represents the pinnacle of 5th-generation fighter design, combining stealth, supercruise capability, advanced avionics, and extreme maneuverability into a single platform. The F-22's stealth characteristics rival those of the B-2. Its angular design with carefully aligned surfaces deflects radar waves just like the bomber, but unlike the B-2, the Raptor is also a supremely agile dogfighter. The aircraft can supercruise at Mach 1.8 without using afterburners, meaning it can sustain supersonic speeds without the massive infrared signature that afterburners produce. 2. Pratt & Whitney F-119 engines provide 35,000 pounds of thrust each, giving the F-22 a thrust-to-weight ratio of 1.3. This exceptional power allows the Raptor to perform maneuvers that would be impossible for conventional fighters. Thrust vectoring nozzles can redirect engine exhaust up to 20 degrees, enabling the aircraft to point its nose in directions that seem to defy physics. The F-22's APG-77 AESA radar can track multiple targets simultaneously, while remaining difficult to detect itself. The radar uses advanced electronic scanning that's far superior to older mechanically steered radars. When combined with the aircraft's sensor fusion systems, the F-22 pilot has an unprecedented level of situational awareness. They can see and engage threats long before those threats even know the Raptor is there. Recent upgrades have made the F-22 even more lethal. The aircraft now carries AIM-9X Sidewinder and AIM-120D AMRAAM missiles with significantly improved range and accuracy. The new AIM-260 Joint Advanced Tactical Missile extends the Raptor's beyond visual range engagement capability to counter advanced Chinese and Russian air-to-air missiles. The F-22 can carry 6 of these missiles internally while maintaining its stealth profile. New infrared search and track systems mounted in stealthy underwing pods give the F-22 another critical advantage. These IRST sensors can detect and track targets using their heat signatures without emitting any radar signals. This passive detection capability is crucial when facing opponents with sophisticated electronic warfare systems. The pilot can identify and lock onto targets without alerting them that they've been detected. The F-22 fleet is undergoing continuous modernization. Upgrades include improved low observable coatings that are easier to maintain than earlier stealth materials, enhanced electronic warfare systems, and integration with next-generation weapons. Lockheed Martin's Skunk Works division is developing open mission systems architecture that makes it faster and easier to add new capabilities. As technology advances, Venezuelan Su-30 fighters are capable aircraft in their own right. These Russian-designed multi-role fighters have excellent maneuverability and can carry a variety of weapons. But against F-22 Raptors, they would be hopelessly outmatched. The Venezuelan pilots wouldn't even know the Raptors were there until missiles were already in the air heading toward them. The concept that military strategists call the OODA loop explains why this engagement would be so lopsided. OODA stands for observe, orient, decide, act. The fighter that can complete this cycle faster than its opponent wins the engagement. The F-22 was specifically engineered to dominate the OODA loop through superior sensors, stealth, and pilot situational awareness. By the time Venezuelan pilots observe the F-22s, the Raptor pilots have already observed them, oriented their aircraft for optimal weapons employment, decided on their engagement strategy, and acted by launching missiles. The Venezuelan pilots are still trying to figure out what's happening when their aircraft start receiving missile warning alerts. They would have virtually no time to react or defend themselves. The reality is that this scenario would never reach the point of actual combat. Long before Venezuelan fighters got close enough to threaten a B-2 bomber, US surveillance assets would detect the scramble. AWACS aircraft, satellites, and other intelligence platforms would provide early warning. The mission would either be aborted, or the B-2 would simply alter its course to avoid the intercept entirely. If engagement became unavoidable, F-22 escorts would neutralize the threat long before Venezuelan aircraft got within weapons range of the bomber. The Raptors could engage from distances exceeding 100 miles using their advanced missiles. Venezuelan pilots would never even see the aircraft that shot them down. This asymmetric capability is exactly why the United States maintains such a massive technological advantage. Current military deployments in the Caribbean demonstrate this overwhelming superiority. U.S. forces have conducted multiple strikes on vessels in international waters, destroying alleged drug boats with precision fire from AC-130 gunships. These operations have killed at least 28 people according to various reports. Venezuela has protested these actions at the United Nations, calling them extrajudicial killings and violations of international law. The Trump administration has made clear that these operations will continue and potentially expand. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth reportedly clashed with the former commander of U.S. Southern Command over the speed and aggressiveness of operations against drug traffickers. The admiral retired after just 1 year in the position, with sources citing concerns about whether the strikes were lawful under international law. Puerto Rico has emerged as a critical staging area for these operations. The U.S. has reopened military facilities that had been closed for decades. Destroyers, amphibious assault ships, and submarines now dock at Puerto Rican ports for resupply and maintenance. F-35 fighters and B-52 bombers operate from airfields on the island, putting them within easy striking distance of Venezuelan territory. The Venezuelan military cannot realistically counter this buildup. While Maduro's government talks about millions of militia members and defensive preparations, the quality and readiness of these forces is questionable. Videos released by Venezuelan state media show elderly civilians running obstacle courses and firing rifles in what appears to be